Hi, my name is Jordan Feeney. I started this program 2 years ago, and on May 5th, I will be graduating with the MDS degree along with the Business Bridge to Career minor. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this, and hopefully, you enjoy. Not knowing what I wanted to do made it hard for me to choose exactly what I wanted from school. I ended up changing my major 2 times before settling on the MDS program. At first, I wanted to be a wildlife biologist when I was attending the University of Montana, but I wasn't so interested in the biology part, as I was more interested in just the wildlife. Well, I ended up leaving that desire behind when I transferred to Boise State, and then I got a wild hair and decided I'd try taking a shot at a business major. And then I realized I didn't really want anything to do with accounting or that aspect of business. Also, because I had realized that I had all these credits from 3 different schools and that I would be pretty much starting over at the basic level. I was wasting time and, most importantly, money. This is when I started looking around for other options, and that's when I decided to take a leap into the MDS program. This was one of the best decisions I've ever made. The advisors, Alexis for the first year and a half and Monique to close it out, were great. They were always there if I needed anything from them. Honestly, it would have been very hard to dive into unknown territory without the help of these two, so thank you. Also, another reason that this program is so great are the options and flexibility that it gives you. I was able to take these classes fully online, which allowed me to work around my normal work hours. It didn't have the same constraints as other classes that you had to actually take in class. This would have caused me to miss work and then have to jumble around and make up those hours somehow. The MDS program allowed me to fill a lifelong dream of graduating from college. In the MDS program, the coursework was exciting and interesting. I was always able to be fully engaged, and I was always wanting to intake as much knowledge as possible from them. The classes that were required for this program, I feel, are used almost every day in some aspect. I know that my 3 favorite classes, teamwork and innovation, leadership, and nonverbal communications, are used almost every day in my line of work. These classes have helped me become a better leader, listener, and overall a better manager. Before taking these classes, I would have not known how to effectively change team dynamics without trial by fire, um, or look at the impacts of globalization has had on the United States and all of its people. These classes have helped me effectively shape how I plan to work with and lead my coworkers, which is a big reason on why I'm getting my degree to better myself and move up the ladder at my current job. Um, Overall, these classes and program outcomes have enabled me to better myself, and that was a personal goal that I try to meet each and every time I accomplish or try something. The individual degree plan, or IDP, was a great tool for me. It forced me to sit down and plan out the next steps and classes for the rest of my college career. I don't know why I hadn't done something like this before, because I'm the kind of person that likes to plan things out ahead of time so that I know they will get done and done correctly. The IDP has enabled me to use it for a checklist, so to speak. I would write what I was going to take, and then once I was done, I'd cross it off the list. Sort of a stepping stone. It allowed me to keep track and have motivation to finish the list. The individual degree plan is great. When making your IDP in the MDS 300 class, you are unsure and kind of fuzzy on everything that you're going to have to do or take. You're setting yourself up for the rest of the program in your college career, so it might be a little nerve-wracking or frustrating. I know I definitely went through those. And in some instances, you may need to change, fix, or alter your IDP. This happened to me, I think, last year. I'd put the wrong semester that I was going to take this class, but I really didn't have to worry because my advisor came to the rescue and helped me through it, like they had many times before. It was an easy process to get it changed, and my advice for when this happens is to keep an open line of communication between you and your advisor. This allowed me and you to not have any conflict or confusion between the two of us. So communication is the key. The IDP was great because it helped me check the last class off. And this is the last presentation for my last class of my college career. And I know that I'm finally done. Having advisors and instructors that are involved in your success makes this program very special. The long road to graduation 2 years ago is now just a few steps away, and I couldn't be more thankful for the IDP and the MDS program. For my service learning project, I decided to volunteer my time through the Idaho Department of Fish and Game. These volunteer project efforts were spearheaded by Michael Young and Carrie Papini. There are around 5 projects per year that they are doing. These projects are when Idaho Fish and Game takes volunteers to replant native habitat to areas, WMAs mostly, wildlife management areas, that were devastated by wildfires. The native habitat that was being planted are sagebrush and bitterbrush. In the projects that I was involved in, we were replanting in the Boise Wildlife Management Area and by the mile marker 14 wildfire, which was up behind Lucky Peak Reservoir. The importance of my service learning projects are that replanting these native plants is important on many levels. First and foremost, it helps protect a variety of animals and bird species, deer, elk, and sage grouse, for example. They use this for winter feed and cover in the harsh and cold winter months. The second relevant and important fact that it has is that it brings some scenery to those areas that were burnt by wildflowers, which should in turn attract more people to these areas and most importantly create more youth involved in the outdoors due to the family-friendly areas and scenery. My overall service learning goal was to find ways for younger generations to get involved in the outdoors. Like I said, is very important to me and the backbone to my service learning assignment. I want the younger generations to be able to enjoy the same environments and scenery, smells that I once was able to. I'd also like to try and instill the same love and passion for the outdoors that I have. This would be used through getting them involved in the outdoors, and then one day they can instill the same love to their children, and so on and so forth to generations to come. This service learning assignment was based around youth involvement in the outdoors. Youth involvement outdoors has been on a decrease for the past 2 generations. The generational involvement was started long ago. Later Generation X and early millennials are those that could be accredited with the decline, in my opinion. These are the generations that had begun to slowly shift the pendulum because they were becoming too busy for the outdoors. It has transpired into the children, as well as having technology at their fingertips. Being able to get these youth involved in the outdoors through the enjoyment of seeing wildlife and beautiful landscape is a must, or people will forget about it. The next reason behind the lack of youth involvement is the wildfires. The high number of wildfires have destroyed millions of acres that were available to enjoy to these families and youth. And unfortunately, people can be blamed for the start of these wildfires for around 80% of the time. To get youth involved, there has to be available areas that are not burned and ugly. By replanting these native habitat, I hope to have done that. To limit the amount of wildfires and destruction of environments to enjoy are to take the necessary precautions of preventative maintenance. This can include prescribed burns, loggings, and/or animal grazing. Lastly, youth involvement has been directly affected by the rising number of private land and the decline of public land and access. In the United States, there's only around 24% of public land to be enjoyed by the youth and their families. A story close to home came around 2 years ago when Texas millionaires bought around 170,000 acres of land up near McCall, Idaho. When they bought this parcel of land, they closed off access to the public, in which the previous owners allowed public access. So ultimately, it upset a lot of people that used to enjoy that area. This in turn limited areas for families to take their youth and get them involved. This problem has been accommodated with the Idaho Fish and Game, in which the Idaho Fish and Game has been able to contact with private property owners and have been trying to get them to allow public access through or onto their land. They started an Access Yes program, which has since opened around 352,000 acres of private land and around 550,000 acres of private access. This is a step forward in battling the ever-growing private land problem. My overall experience with this service learning project is that it's opened my eyes to where the future generations might be heading with youth involvement in the outdoors. I'm hoping that with the topics that I have brought forth today, it will change that. Not only do I want to increase youth involvement, but I want them to enjoy all aspects of the environment for which it has to hold. I also think that with their knowledge and passion, they will be able to fight for the right to keep the land safe and public. Without it, it could turn into a place like Texas where you have to pay people to go out on their land and hunt and fish and all that stuff. So all in all, I've been able to see the importance of being able to rehabilitate areas that were affected by wildfires and the importance of getting them back so the youth can become more involved. Honestly, I would definitely do this type of volunteer work again just because of how much it means to me. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.